Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video on the channel. Inside of today's video, I'm going to give you guys 10 brawlers which I believe are the key to getting you guys towards masters, especially if you're stuck in and around legendary, where not always you're getting the best randoms. Sometimes you need to pick carry picks, sometimes you need to ban those brawlers which your bad randoms just keep playing and they think they're him with. There's a lot of brawlers that I think, and especially with playing with my free-to-play account, I've been going a lot and just been getting much easier wins because, yeah, you can follow my guides in terms of trying to get pro rank, in terms of like the top end of meta, what the pros draft, but not necessarily does that always correlate to your guys' gameplay. So let me know whether you want to see similar videos to this in terms of maybe like a full guide of those hard stuck legendary players, because there's quite a few of them. But let's jump into it. So the first one, maybe a little bit confusing. So the first one's Piper. The reason why I say it's confusing because Piper in the pro meta has dropped down a lot, but ranked is always different to what the pros play. And with Piper, Piper is always the carry brawler. Yes, again, in my tier list, she is starting to drop down a little bit, but trust me, in terms of bounty and knockout in particular, you can never really go wrong with Piper because people don't know how to juke consistently. So with Piper, you're rewarded for hitting those shots a lot with snappy sniping, but not only that, people aren't always clued on to what counters Piper the most in terms of aggression. So as long as you ban out probably like a nanny, then you can always tap with a Piper because again, knockout and bounty, it consists of a lot of brawlers which Piper counters. So like Byron, Bell, Gus, all of these other snipers, Piper will do very well into. So yeah, I think the biggest problems that you're going to face off against are the likes of Nanny, Mina, maybe a Max. But again, those people below masters aren't going to be too good at countering the Piper. So going from one sniper to the next one, we have Mandy. So Mandy shouldn't be a surprise to you guys because she's one of the most played brawlers in Brawl Stars, whether it's ladder or ranked. She is overplayed a little bit, right? Because people are playing Mandy as like a gem carrier for whatever reason. They're playing Mandy on heist for whatever reason. Even when Mandy was meta, guys, she was only really good on bridge too far, and even then she can be countered. So just play her in knockout and bounty, but in particular knockout. So again, in the pro meta, a lot of people aren't really playing Mandy, and she's like probably like a C-tier brawler right now. But again, below masters, you can get away with going these cheesy brawlers. So with Mandy, a lot of people don't know how to counter Mandy. Again, they're just going to be feeding her a lot of supers. They're not going to be reacting quick enough. They've got the unk reaction time just like me, so they can't dodge a Mandy super or a Mandy hypercharge. And a lot of people like to line up for whatever reason in knockout. So yeah, but I just play Mandy a lot because it's free. It actually is free, bounty or knockout. People just don't know how to counter Mandy. For the next brawler you must be looking to play if you're hard stuck and you can't quite reach masters just yet, or you just want a hard carry brawler, it is Rico. So I speak about Rico quite consistently on the channel for years in terms of that brawler that I like to play when I'm playing him on mini accounts in ranked and I'm just carrying, but that's because he's one of my mains. But at the same time, Rico's always been one of the leaders in terms of a damage department, and now thanks to his unload speed buff, he's just way better than people even give him credit for. And again, whenever it's pro play, pros know how to counter Rico effectively in terms of like wall break and a few other instances. He can be quite vulnerable sometimes to aggressive picks, but again, when I'm playing my free-to-play account, whenever I'm playing below masters, Rico is so free. Even in a situation where I feel like if I'm playing, I don't know, masters free on my main account, I'm probably going to get countered, I can just cleanly just go Rico no matter what. It doesn't really matter the situation, to be honest, or the map. I know I'm going to get value with Rico most of the time. So that unload speed buff has been really good to him, whether it's gem grab, whether it's a few heist maps like hot potato and pit stop. He is your hard carry brawler, and he is still just really good in general. Fourth brawler on the list is Carl, and Carl is one of my favorite brawlers in terms of a free-to-play account because I've had him maxed since pretty much the start. One of my first brawlers I actually invested in because not only, well, he's not like always top of the meta, but he's always consistent. And when you think of draft, you always need in your brawler pool consistent brawlers, and Carl is one of them, but also a good carry pick. So let's go into the game modes, and this is why he's so strong in ranked. Gem grab, I mean, he's probably one of his worst game modes because it's just better assassins, but you can still play him there. You've got Brawl, he's great on maps like Sneaky Fields, Center Stage. You've got Heist, he's good everywhere, but in particular, you know, like Kaboom Canyon or Safe Zone in particular, he's really good with the flying hook. Bounty, he's great there because he can fly and hook and get the blue star. A knockout, maybe not. Hot zone, still pretty decent as well. Cole, you can go pretty much everywhere. Yes, there are some counters to him in the draft, but again, I've not been experiencing many people that know how to counter Cole when below masters. And he is a carry pick because you can get so much pressure with his flying hook. You can get team wipes with his super. He's a very strong brawler in the right hand, so yeah, Carl is great to get towards Masters with. Next brawler you must be looking to play a lot if you're looking to get towards Masters has to be Gus. So Gus, the reason why I really like him is the simple fact that his main attack is very easy to hit. And with Gus, you can play him in multiple game modes. So again, in Gem Grab, you see the pros play a lot of Gus because he's always safe. In Gem Grab, you need a brawler that can defend itself. That you can do that with Gus's shield as long as you're constantly holding that in case an aggro goes to you. There's not really a lot of counters to him in Gem Grab. Knockout Bounty, you're always pretty safe to go. You probably don't want to play him in like Hot Zone or Brawl because he lacks the damage, and Heist as well. But in 3 of the 6 game modes, he's a very strong option. And again, he's very noob friendly. I'm not calling everyone noobs, that is below Masters, but you get what I mean. You're able to just put out consistent damage, and again, there's not really, when you actually looking to draft, there's not a ton of this absolute Gus counters. I think the only one in Gem Grab is probably like Ash or maybe a few other aggro options. Outside of that, Gus can always be picked. Which probably must be looking to play if you want to reach Masters, but this is more of a game mode specific one. I could include Bo here as well, but I think this is very obvious. Like Bo and Miko, Bo in Hot Zone for whatever reason, especially below Legendary 2, people aren't banning like Bo, and I just got so many free games to get me to Legendary 2 on my free-to-play account. That's very obvious, and the same goes with Miko and Heist. I feel like people are realizing now later on the season how strong Miko can be in Heist if you don't know how to open your eyes and just time it correctly, or if you don't know the right counters. But Miko and Heist again is pretty free. Again, I've not been getting too many Miko games recently because he is the maxed out brawler, but I will say people just don't know how to counter Miko, and that's why I put him on this list. So the way to counter Miko, if you want to know, is you just got to time his jumps correctly. His jumps are very obvious and predictable, and you can easily do this with shoot him again with brawlers with have a quick unload speed. You know, brawlers like RT, for example, as well on his split form. There's quite a few counters to the Miko right now, and I think right now he's probably like a D F tier brawler in the pro meta, but again, people do not know how to counter Miko in my game, so I have to often ban him out in my highest games. But if you get a free Miko game, yeah, the enemy will just have no idea what to do. Next brawler you must play if you're looking to reach Masters has to be Brock. So again, Brock is a brawler that can be very toxic if played correctly, and what I'm noticing, even in my high elo games in Masters 3, he's such a solid option in Bounty on Knockout, because in particular Knockout, because with Brock you have so much versatility in your kit, and it's mainly just because of the wall break, right? So you can counter brawlers in multiple ways. So you can have a wall break in case people want to go cheesy like Buster composition. You've got wall break in case someone wants to go a thrower, or you've got wall break if the opponent, for example, has a couple of brawlers which you can clearly outrange. So a common one is if people go like Gray or Squeak, you've got a Brock wall break, and if your teammates are capable enough, you can just outrange them purely. You know, maps like New Horizons often do this in Knockout. Brock can still be a consistent pick in Heist as well. Bounty, like I mentioned, he can still be really good. And again, the people below Masters aren't fully aware how to counter Brock, because with Brock, you can be pretty toxic. If you're constantly keeping at your max range, it's really hard to push into a Brock, but people don't know how to just consistently pressure the Brock, and again, below Masters, it's just free. I'm just going Brock everywhere. But next brawler you must be looking to play if you want to reach Masters has to be Lily. So there's this common theme where below Masters, or just really bad players, don't know how to deal with brawlers that have some type of invisibility in their kit. So Lily has that with Vanish, you know, like Kaze with her invisibility gadget, Leon, etc. But Lily can be so frustrating to face off against in general, but you need good game sense and you need good team play as well, because most of the time you need to be able to, you know, if Lily goes in, you need to be able to follow her and make sure that you can at least get the trade, but your randoms or the enemy randoms are just clueless most of the time. They don't know what's happening. They don't have any game sense. So literally the best game mode for her is easily Gem Grab, because you can just cause so much pressure, and that's what will win your games in Gem Grab. And you can hard carry with Lily, because you can hypercharge the enemy gem carrier. You can, you know, distract 2 of the enemies, and if 2 of them are on you, well, that means your teammates already got to deal with 1, right? So that's what often I have to do in Gem Grab with Lily. She can be an amazing heist brawler as well. She can be great in Knockout and Bounty as like a counter pick on maps like Layer Cake or a few other maps. Yeah, Lily's just a really underrated brawler right now. and a very good hard carry brawler. Next brawler you must be playing a lot more if you want to try and get masters has to be Penny. So Penny, I'm noticing even again at the higher elo ranges, there are a few really toxic Penny maps where if you get set up, it's really hard to deal with a Penny. The one map in particular, but it's 2 in the highest rotation, both safe zones, Penny is really strong on and can be really painful to deal with. A lot of the hot zone maps, again, if they don't have the adequate counter, can be really hard to deal with. So often, you know, if people ban out the bow in hot zone, well, they forget about the Penny, which can be ultra consistent. And the only thing you've got to really worry about with Penny is throwers. Most of the time, you're not going to worry about too many other brawlers because they're just going to feed your super inevitably. So yeah, Penny's starting to creep up in the pro meta, and I'm just playing a lot more Penny, whether it be gem grab as well. Yeah, I'm just finding people find it really hard to counter a Penny turret. That's always been one of the things with people with lesser skills. So the randoms like facing off against, they're just really going to hate facing off against that Penny turret. So now moving on to the final brawler on this list. I haven't noted any of the buffy brawlers, but it goes without saying the likes of Ems, Frank, Spike and Mortis are really good at carrying you to masters because they're very strong with the buffies. So if you have any of those brawlers, please go them, but I'm getting tired of repeating the same buffy brawlers. But Angelo is on the list here, and this is mainly because I figured out that Angelo is so much better into not bad play, but worse plays. Well, that's basically what I'm saying. Is because the pros have figured out how to counter Angelo is with a lot of pressure. There's a few brawlers that can just run all over Angelo basically, but when I'm playing on my mini account, quite a lot of people are picking Angelo, and then I'm noticing that my teammates that pick Angelo are just absolutely carrying. I'm like, hold up, this is a secret carry pick, because with Angelo, he's got a very fast movement speed. He's actually pretty hard to counter for most people to understand how to counter him, right? Because he's got 2 flexible gadgets. He's either got the one that can pierce through walls, or it can jump away whether there's any aggro onto him, and he deals a lot of damage. And with Angelo, you don't have to worry below masters about draft too much. You can just play him in pretty much any bounty and knockout situation. A lot of maps in heist as well, that's great for him. Kaboom Canyon, safe zone. So yeah, he's a great carry pick because he deals so much damage, and people just don't know how to juke consistently against those Angelo shots. You're gonna just carry with the Angelo, believe me. So that's going to be it for today's video, guys. This is the first of this kind of format here. I'm going to try and do a lot more guides in terms of helping you guys reach masters. I'm thinking about doing a game mode specific guide of where I teach you guys how to draft and play that particular game mode. The first one being heist pretty soon here. So yeah, that's going to be it for today's video, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.